So welcome to Iowa and the Iowa
Thank
State
you.
Fair.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Isn't it cool?
I've been walking around. It's super cool.
I know. You haven't probably seen the butter sculpture yet, and maybe you're
No.
not here for the funnel cakes, but you are here for small businesses, small business people in Iowa, helping them take their business to the next level. Tell me what it is you're doing here today.
So we had this morning the first graduation of our 10,000 small business program, the first two cohorts in Iowa. It's a program we started 10 years ago to support small businesses and provide educations for small business owners so they can advance their businesses. And we've been very rooted in trying to make sure the things we're doing are actually having tangible results.
And you are seeing those results.
We're seeing those results. We're seeing these businesses grow. We're seeing these businesses hire more people. More than 50% of the businesses hire more people within 6 months. And we're also seeing the businesses partner with each other and do businesses together. So it's allowing them to create a great network to really expand their interests. And the feedback that I get as I'm lucky enough to travel around to the different cities around the country where we're doing this is really just wonderful from the graduates, that it's helping them grow their businesses. They're obviously all entrepreneurs. They've been successful in creating something, but this is helping them take it to a new level. So you really get inspired when you talk to these individuals about how this program is giving them an ability to lead, as you point out, the people that they work with, to add more employees, and also to expand their business and their ambition.
Local growth, whether it's in politics or in social movements or in business, I mean, that's where the change happens, right? I mean, that's where you really grow. I mean, how important is small businesses in growing the economy?
Small businesses are very important to growing this economy. Small businesses employ a significant portion of, or make up a significant portion of all the jobs across the country. And when you look at job growth across the country, it's really driven by small business growth. And so this is really an important, unique part of the US economy. And it's something we all need to invest in to help sustain the great system that we have here and to create more opportunities for people. I think one of the things that small businesses do is they create opportunity, and having the entrepreneurial culture we do across America that lets people go out, start businesses, pursue their dreams, and grow, that's a really critical part of what makes the United States special.
10 years into an economic recovery, the longest expansion in history, things seem really solid to me. They always say that, expansions don't die of old age, they die from policy mistakes. What do you see out there?
Well, first I just want to echo that I think when you look at the base economy is chugging along okay. And while it has been a long cycle, it was a very deep recession the last time, and it was a gradual, slow climb out. So it's not surprising that maybe this has gone on for a longer period of time. I'd also say that monetary policy all over the world has definitely played a role in stimulating asset price inflation and growth around the world. I think the economy is doing fine. There are things that are getting added to the equation, in particular the trade war with China, that is having an impact. It's having an impact on growth. I don't think that impact is significant yet, but we're watching that very, very carefully. And I think those are the kinds of things, what's going on with monetary policy, what's going on with trade, how that's all linked, that has the potential to slow down growth if it's not handled correctly over time.
You've got the president who is really embarking on a tough trade war with China, and then he's at the same time saying that the Fed should be the one to mitigate the damage from his trade war. So in a way, he paints the Fed into a corner a bit, doesn't he?
Well, I think it's very, very important that we have an independent Fed, but I would observe, and this is not just a US observation, when you look around the world, and I think this is the result of the fact that the world has in some way gotten used to the very, very significant, easy money monetary policy that's a result of the crisis. Monetary policy to me seems a little bit more attached to markets at the moment, and also to politics.
Is
and
that healthy?
That's something to watch carefully. I don't think that is healthy, and I think that's something to watch carefully. And you're right, when you put trade policies into place, they do have an impact, on the economy, and we have to live with that impact. At the moment, I think the real impact of tariffs has been small, but we have to watch that carefully, and those are the kinds of things that can change confidence. I think the administration is appropriate in pushing, but I think we also have to understand that if we want to change this relationship, it's not something that we might get a quick answer to, and we have to be prepared for the consequences of pushing at this for a period of time, and I do think it will be a period of time.
American business leaders for years have complained about Chinese trade practices, and many say the president is doing the right thing, but maybe in the wrong way, and that's what they're concerned about, that maybe tariffs aren't the right way to do it. Is there a better way to do it?
I think that's a complicated equation.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of tariffs, but we need to find a way to push. Personally, I think we've got to be candid and honest about the fact that this is something that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for all of us as Americans. There'll be some friction to all of us as Americans for pushing at this relationship because we're very economically entwined, but we have to do it. And we have to be prepared to see it through and get to a better place because it hasn't been fair. And so there's a lot of noise. I think at the end of the day, the underlying economy, as we discussed, is still doing okay. I think the chance of a recession in the near term is still relatively low, but we have to watch what's going on with tariffs. We have to watch the US-China relationship. We have to watch some of the other geopolitical noise that's going on, and confidence can, have an impact on growth. I don't see it now having as dramatic an impact as the markets might be signaling at this moment, but I think you've got to look at that carefully.
Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders want to break up the banks. Several of the Democrats want new taxes on Wall Street trades, and they say that the super rich should pay to help ameliorate the income gap in this country. Do they have the right idea?
We're in a political election cycle. I have no idea where that election cycle's going to go. There are a number of things that you talked about that I wouldn't personally agree with or think are good for all of us as Americans in an economy where we want to create opportunity and bring people along. But we'll have to wait and see. And there's a big difference between political stump speeches and legislative policy. And so, I watch the election like everybody else, but I'd say it's early.
What about the free college and the wiping out student loan debt and some of these other ideas that seem to be getting a lot of attention, at least in the primary part of this election cycle?
Well, I think the things that you have to ask and you have to look at is, what are we trying to do? How are we trying to create opportunity? What's the right way, and how are we going to pay for it? And I think we've morphed to a place where I think the rhetoric in the country is that the path to opportunity, the only path to opportunity, is a college education. And it's a path to opportunity, but there are a lot of other paths. And you look around the world, apprenticeship programs and other skills-based training. I think there are a lot of paths to opportunity, and I think we have to think about programs and where we allocate our dollars to do what we can do to open up opportunity, continue to open up opportunity to as broad a group of Americans as possible.
I wonder what you think about what role do corporate leaders have in the gun violence debate? And are your employees making any questions or demands of you? Do you advise companies that are in the gun business or retailers that are in the gun business still? And have you had any soul searching about how corporate America, and investment banking in particular, should react to this problem?
Sure. First, I just have to start by saying that my heart just goes out to all the people that have been affected by these horrible tragedies. It's just, I can't imagine what it's like to live through one of these tragedies, and this just has to stop. This has to stop. We need our government officials, our legislators, to come together, Democrats and Republicans, and try to improve the framework through which we all operate. Goldman Sachs does not do business with people that manufacture assault weapons, bump stocks, high-capacity magazines. That's been our policy for a long time. We do business with retailers who sell guns, but we're thinking about what we should do and how we can contribute to this debate. But at the end of the day, this is not something that private business can legislate. This needs to be legislated by law, and I think it's time for our political leaders to come together on something that's so tragic for our country and make some progress.
So you don't think boycotts are the answer? You think policy is the answer?
Policy is the answer. This has to. You can at the margin, boycotts create discussion, and hopefully they put pressure on legislators. But we need policy that changes this. If you want real wholesale change, in my opinion, we need policy change.